First up, let's begin by talking about what Pakistan does best. Remember, Pakistan, no matter what you say about Pakistan, what Pakistan does, nothing changes. And that is why you see them continuously fomenting terror when it comes to India. And India, in one such incident again, has lost 5 of its brave hearts to a terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Kathua. Now, India has vowed to avenge the supreme sacrifice of our Jawans. Final tributes were paid to the fallen heroes at the Jolly Grant Airport a little earlier. And Times Now, also remember, joins the entire country in paying a rich tribute to the fallen heroes. Let's also get you more breaking updates as far as investigations are concerned. What we can tell you is that a search operation is currently underway in Kathua to ensure that all the terrorists are nabbed. Pradeep has been tracking that story and he also joins us live. Pradeep, good morning. What is it that you can tell us as far as the investigations and the search operations are concerned?
See, what we had been told by the investigators who had been looking into this matter, they told us that these terrorists, there were 2 in group. They basically belonged to pan-Islamic terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed, and they were planning to repeat what they did in December 2023. They wanted to mutilate body of the dead soldiers. They wanted to steal their weapon, and then they wanted to shoot that, and so that they can project Indian army in bad light. That's what actually they were trying to do. But they couldn't succeed in their dirty mission. Reason being that our brave hearts who were in the next vehicle that was following this truck, they opened fire with precision despite coming under the relentless barrage of gunfire. They kept on firing till this terrorist fled towards the nearby forest belt. Since then, the operation is continuing. Right now, the multi-pronged operation is being launched. Because if we talk about this particular mountain, on one side it's Himachal Pradesh, on the other side it is Basantgarh area, on the third side it is in Badawa and Doda area, on fourth side it is Bilawar. So what they are doing, they have launched an operation on all the directions with the help of the drone. They are trying to track a movement of these terrorists. These terrorists are said to be hiding somewhere inside those caves, like rodents, like rats, because they come out to this side. What actually the security agencies believe that they had crossed international border either from the Hiranagar or Kathua sector, and maybe there is a possibility of using tunnel. See, like rodents, they use a subterranean mean to coming out to this side, and again like rats, they are hiding inside those caves after targeting our brave hearts, because they know that they can't directly confront our soldiers. So right now the operation is continuing, the multi-pronged operation, which involves a special operation group of police. We have the para commandos, then we have several units of the army also. Now they are devising a strategy, because in coming days they are going to establish camps, and that will be at the heights so that they can keep an eye on the movement of the terrorists. Right now the terrorists are at the dominating position because they are at the upper reaches. They can keep eye on the movement of the security forces moving. That's one of the reasons that our security agencies are taking all sorts of precautionary measures to avoid any kind of a collateral damage. It's very easy for the politicians to say what the security agencies are doing, what the government is doing, why they are not able to pin down terrorists, why this thing is happening. Because when you are sitting on a coffee table, this happens. But otherwise, if you look at the situation on the ground, there are many challenges. Deepti.
Absolutely. Pradeep, I'll let you go only for the moment so that you get us more updates. But do remember, it's important again to underscore what Pradeep just mentioned. You know, there is a particular modus operandi that you see in operation by Pakistan almost in every terror attack. These cowardly attacks, still, they do not, remember, go down. You have seen an escalation every time you see India speaking in a tough language. But it's also important to hear an eyewitness account. In fact, someone who's heard this, he's seen this again, and he again is recalling the cowardly modus operandi by Pakistan.
4-5-6 बंदे थे यहाँ दुकान पर बैठे हुए, तो पहले बस गई। बस जाने के बाद 10 मिनट के बाद गाड़ी आ गई आर्मी वालों की। गाड़ी आई गई, हम सौदा देते हुए उसके बाद एक टिप्पर भी गया, उसको पासिंग दी आर्मी वालों ने, उसको ब्रिज के साथ ही। उसके बाद 2-3 मिनट के बाद फायरिंग शुरू हो गया। हम दुकान के अंदर, हमें पता नहीं चला जे फायरिंग, हमने पहले समझा जे जिसका इनका गाड़ियों का टायर पंचर हो गया, बहुत बड़ा धमाका हुआ। उसके बाद फायरिंग चलती रही, तो हमें कोई पता चला, अंदर ही हमको पता चला, हमने समझ लीजिए जहाँ पर काउंटर हो गया।
So you heard that entire account coming in. So what is India doing? Clearly those are questions that a lot of people have been raising, and the government says that this is happening according to the entire policy that India has, that terror and talks obviously will not go hand in hand. But there are, remember, a lot of netas who continue to play politics. The India Bloc Alliance netas have also doubled down on their attack on the government. And they say that security situation in Jammu and Kashmir is really worrying. Now do remember, if you just run your eyes through what has happened in the last few months, it will tell you that there has been a sudden spike in such incidents, particularly the south of the Pir Panjal range. That is worrying. Let's listen in first up to netas who only will put out such kind of comments without realizing what our forces are up against.
अब ये इस मोदी रिजीम के उस नाकामी की एक मिसाल है। यहाँ पे वो दावा करते थे कि 2019 के बाद उन्होंने मिलिटेंसी ख़त्म की है और मिलिटेंसी अब है नहीं। हकीकत ये है, और बदकिस्मत हकीकत ये, हम नहीं चाहते कि ऐसा हो। बदकिस्मत हकीकत ये है कि इनके दावों के बरक्स मिलिटेंसी अब उन जगहों पे हो रही है, उन जगहों पे फैल रही है जहाँ पे मिलिटेंसी पहले देखी नहीं गई थी। इन वाक़ात से एक नाजायज़ फ़ायदा उठाने की कोशिश की जा रही है बीजेपी का जो एक इकोसिस्टम है। इन वाक़ात के नतीजे में वो अपना नाजायज़ फ़ायदा उठाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
पिछले 7 महीनों में जम्मू कश्मीर में 24वां आतंकी हमला है, और पिछले 3 महीने में शायद ये जम्मू शहर में, जम्मू इलाके में चौथा बड़ा आतंकी हमला है। ये बात बिल्कुल साफ है कि ये जो आतंकवादी हैं ये बॉर्डर पार से आ रहे हैं, और हम ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि सरकार इसको बहुत संवेदनशीलता से लेगी।
They claim that India is the most secure under the BJP, but all these things are happening. We saw what happened in Pulwama. What is the result of any investigation? Why this happened? Will the BJP care to answer the general public? And the Prime Minister has also claimed that he has got a 56-inch chest and everybody will be terrorized, and India will be a secure country. What happened to that 56-inch chest? Has it shrunk due to the shrinkage of the vote share and shrinkage of the seats?
More breaking updates on what's really going on. What we can tell you is that a meeting was convened on Tuesday by the Raksha Mantri to review the security preparedness amidst the terror attacks and security in Jammu and Kashmir. In the meeting, apart from Kashmir, the situation also on the India-Myanmar border was reviewed by the Raksha Mantri, the Chief of the Defence Staff, the Indian Army Chief and the Defence Secretary. During the meeting, what we can tell you is that a comprehensive discussion was held to arrive at a future security strategy. Our colleague Yawar is also joining us, and he's reporting live from the Doda district for us. Yawar, many people will continue to ask those typical questions that what happens, why are we seeing an escalation when it comes to the south of the Pir Panjal? But then equally worrying, I think, are the positions that politicians take, keeping in mind, which political side they represent. I do remember someone like a Farooq Abdullah, like a Mehbooba Mufti, who've condemned the attack. They do not name Pakistan, but all that they say is that this BJP government is to be blamed. Now, is that going to be a collective response to deal with Pakistan?
Well, exactly after the Kathua attack and the Doda encounter, we saw a mixed response coming in from the various quarters, including the regional parties of the Kashmir Valley. From the Farooq Abdullah to his son Omar Abdullah and the PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti, though in a single voice they condemned this attack, but they said that, without naming the Pakistan, that there should be the atmosphere that would be put on a card. In fact, in the Pooch, Farooq Abdullah said that if Pakistan will will keep trying, pushing and funding, sponsoring the militants in the Kashmir, it will lead nothing, but it will ruin the entire thing for them. It's a problem for them as well. But on the second thing, if we talk about the operations, there are the two massive operations that's underway in the Kashmir, in the Jammu region. In fact, one is in the Kathua, one is in the Doda. In fact, right now we are covering the ground zero in the Doda. Since the morning, we saw that more and more reinforcements were pressed into service to trace at least 3 foreign militants who are said to be, roaming in the Gol Gali dense forest in the Doda. Behind me is the scene. They are the vehicles of the armored vehicles of the army. They are placed here. In fact, the more reinforcement have been pressed into service since the morning to get this operation done. Okay. This operation is in the synergy between the army and the special operation group of the J&K police. Since the morning, we kept reporting that how the modern technology are being used to trace them, to trace the militants, to trace their hideouts, to trace their natural caves, because the terrain is too tough. And whenever these sort of encounters takes place, first casualty which will inflict because of these terrains. So first priority for the security forces is to ensure that they will inch in before ensuring that this is a safe place, because they don't know where the actual natural caves can be, where will be the militants hideout. So first they have to ensure that they have sanitized this entire area before they can go up. This is not an easy task for the security forces. This is not an operation which is in the plains. Absolutely. This operation usually takes days, usually takes weeks to go. And in fact, this is the second operation in 2 weeks. In the Sinu Doda, in the past 2 weeks, 3 militants were killed, got injured. But somehow we saw in 15 days second operations rattling there. So somehow the shift of the pattern from the Kashmir to the Jammu is somewhat which has been witnessed. In fact, the top cops has also said that over 70 to 80 foreign militants are active with these ballots all across.
Absolutely. So, these are still staggering numbers that should worry all of us collectively. That's very important. I'm just requesting both Pradeep and Yawar to stay with us. We'll just come back to them in a moment. But let's just run you through what has happened so far. Again, these details, remember, extremely important. So let's begin from Jammu and Kashmir's Kathua. It all starts in the afternoon of July the 8th. This is when you have 5 army personnel who lose their lives. They are martyred. This is when the army convoy is ambushed by the terrorist in the remote Macheri area of the Kathua sector. 5 Jawans have also been injured grievously. They were rushed to a nearby hospital where right now they're receiving medical treatment. Now, as per sources, these army vehicles were on a routine patrol on the Macheri-Kindli-Malhar road. This is when the attack takes place. After the initial attack, these terrorists reportedly throw a grenade. Then they suddenly open fire. The security forces retaliate, but the terrorists then flee into the nearby forest. And clearly, this will again tell you more about the cowardly attack vis-a-vis Pakistan that happens almost every time. But look at the responses. While Pakistani bullets bleed India, the NC patron Farooq Abdullah is back to his familiar stance of fear-mongering. He doesn't name Pakistan, he condemns the attack, he blames the BJP government. But what he also says is that Muslims in India are afraid. He says even Kashmiris are afraid. They are living in fear, and that is the reason why they even fear traveling, is what he says.
अगर वतन बनाना है तो कैसे बनेगा? वतन नफरत से नहीं बन सकता। इलेक्शन में हमारे वजीर आजम ने नफरत को बढ़ाया। आज मुसलमान को, कश्मीरी मुसलमान को डर लगता है हिंदुस्तान के किसी हिस्से में जाने से। बच्चे तालीम पढ़ते हैं, उनको डर है माँ बाप को कि वहां बचेंगे या नहीं बचेंगे। ये मैंने कभी आज जिंदगी में कभी नहीं देखा था। अटैक्स पीएम की स्पीच में नहीं हो रहे हैं। अटैक्स इसलिए हो रहे हैं, वो कहते हैं इसका फैसला नहीं हुआ, इसका फैसला करो।
I want to get in our colleague Pradeep back with us on this particular reaction that we've just heard from Farooq Abdullah. Pradeep, many would say that this is a typical script. But hasn't Farooq Abdullah done this and seen the results? I mean, we know what happened during the Lok Sabha results. People do not want this. People want you to be direct. People want you to condemn Pakistan for every wrong it has done. But at the same point, speak as one when it comes to terror and clearly not tell us that Muslims are living in fear, Kashmiris are living in fear. They are, at the end of it, Pradeep, all a part of the country.
Yes, Deepthi, you are absolutely right. Very obnoxious and a shocking statement coming from Farooq Abdullah, but not surprising because we are used to such statement coming from the Kashmir-centric leadership. You rightly said that he is resorting to fear-mongering. If we talk about the Kashmiris are doing well and moving in different parts of the country. And it's only the Hindus who can't go and settle back in Kashmir Valley. It is because of the wrong policies of these Neta. Somebody should tell them what really happened in the 90s when he really fled from that place. And after that, 5 lakh Kashmiri Hindus had to abandon their hearths and home. Even today, they are going either as tourists or they are going for any kind of a pilgrimage or they will be going as employees, but they can't settle down there. It is because of their wrong policies. But if you talk about the Muslims,
yes.
Muslim is the second largest majority in the country after Hindus.
Apologies, I'm just interrupting you here. I'm being told that Dr. S.P. Vaid Saab, who's been the former DGP of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, joining us on the phone line. I quickly want to take a word from him, Pradeep, then I'm coming back to you, sir. Good morning, and thank you for speaking to us on Times Now. Not the very first time, sir, that you have a reaction from Farooq Abdullah or from Mehbooba Mufti. But what does this tell us, sir? When, you've been a part of the security establishment, you're well aware of the challenges, you very well know how our netas behave. What would you want to tell them this morning?
I had the opportunity to work with all these leaders. My only request to everyone is they must understand this is fight against your country. This is not about politics. This is fight against your very existence. And Pakistan has unleashed terror, has unleashed this Ghazwa-e-Hind only to destroy this country with no other intention. That's what I understand. And irrespective of your political affiliation, all political leadership must stand up in today's time and speak in one voice against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. I don't think we should play politics on this. This is my only humble request to everyone.
And I hope, Vaid Saab, they are listening to that because in their hearts, I think they are well aware that this is a script that has given no results. It's only harmed them further. But we'll track that story, sir. Thank you for speaking to us this morning. Thank you to also Pradeep for getting us all those details. Also, Yawa reporting from Doda in Jammu and Kashmir. We are at Times Now. We'll keep you on top of the story and we'll continue to show the mirror to all these netas who believe it's their politics first and national security later. On the other side of this quick break, back with more.